Calling Irina.
Hello.
Hello, I'm your host, Tafari, and I have a special guest today. Her name is.
Irina.
Today, we're going to just talk about relationships. If you want to talk about your divorce, I think it'll be interesting to talk about the transition, the good times, and then what you feel was bad and how you ended up into situations. Yeah.
With like my divorce that happened, I don't know, years ago almost. It was so long ago. That was just very painless. It
Oh,
was yeah, the divorce was very painless. My ex-husband, we weren't even together that long. It's like I have three major relationships in my adulthood. It was the ex-husband, there was the one after that lasted 5 years, and then the most recent one that lasted 8 years. So with my ex-husband, that was actually the shortest one out of the three.
oh, wow.
And that was such an easy and clean break. I found out some things about him that I didn't know when we got married. He was like living a double life.
Oh,
So once I found that out and realized that my life could be potentially in danger because of the things that he was doing, it was just a very easy decision to make. So I wasn't very heartbroken about that. So the transition was very interesting.
wow. I've never been through a divorce. I've had I would say, a 5 to 8 year relationship. And she was cheating on me. And how I found out
Yeah.
about it, I was like in boot camp. Or no, it was after boot camp.
Oh
I
my
was in my
God.
MOS school. So it's basically trains you for your career path. So if you're
Right.
infantry, that's what you're training for, which is what I was training for.
Hmm.
During my infantry transition into the fleet, which is where you're actually stationed, I
Yeah.
saw like $100 and something out my account,
Oh my God.
and it was at PF Chang's. And back then, I was like, okay, that's more than one person. And I heard from other people that she was she was with him during that time frame.
$100 at PF Chang's, that's not a single meal.
No, exactly.
You're on a date. You're on a date. That's two meals right there.
Yeah. And see, I didn't mind as long as she was being honest. And she wasn't being honest with me. And I'm not the type of person, I'm not going to have a conversation with you about the situation. I'm just going to end it. And that's exactly what I did. Changed my bank account information,
Good.
completely changed everything. Didn't even tell her. I just completely blocked that off and then moved on. And yeah, I haven't been in a long term relationship since then. That. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that broke me. I typically am just like, I just been living my life, and I dated every now and then after, but I wouldn't really call them relationships. They were just fun.
Situationships. They were situationships.
Yeah.
You were enjoying each other's company, but you never made anything official.
Yeah, exactly. And even though it was a long-term situationship, because how we ended up together is that I was living on my own. She ended up getting fired. We worked at the same place, and I worked two jobs so she can stay stress-free for a while and not have to worry about
Hmm.
finding a job immediately. And I was tired all the freaking time. But I didn't care because like I cared about her and I wanted her well-being and her mental to be back intact before she just went into another job. Then I enlisted into the military. And that's the reason why we ended up together living in the same space, is because of she had a kid and I went to go live with her so she didn't have to pay bills. So it
Yeah.
was just how it all happened. It was a situation that turned into something, and that ended up in nothing.
Lasted a really long time, huh?
Yeah, because the way I start off relationships typically are by just being good friends and getting to know that person. But being good friends first, as in, I knew she was going to be my something one day. And
Yeah.
it was something like, of course, we slept together, stuff like that. But it was
Well,
never in the beginning like, we're together. it just ended up that way.
I think that's how, a lot of relationships start is you have that clear communication. Are we or are we not? And
Yeah.
at least that's what I'm used to with my ex-husband. Like he very aggressively pursued me. And that's how we ended up together. And then the relationship after that, he very aggressively pursued me even while I was still married. And then with the 8-year one, he pursued me as well. And everything was just made clear in the very beginning. Want to be together? We're going to be together. We are boyfriend and girlfriend now.
Yeah. And earlier I was telling you how I always get pursued first. I never am initiator. I was like when I was like in high school, middle school,
Yeah.
I initiated, but after that I never really I wouldn't say I didn't need to because I just wasn't really looking for anything. But how that was initiated was I was just tired and she just took off her her pants in front of me. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, that's
And
how it started. It's that
yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go invite I'm gonna invite somebody over and take off my pants. I won't do that.
That's how it happens for me for some reason. And because no matter how much a person flirts with me, I don't get it. I think I flirt with everyone. So they're just flirting playfully. I don't think they like me.
You must be nice to know how to flirt because I am such a horrible flirt. I don't know how to flirt. And I get accused of flirting all the time. It's just I'm just like a very friendly person. I'm easy to talk to. So a lot of men think that I am hitting on them, and I'm not. For sure, I'm not. But I don't. If I really am attracted to someone, me flirting is the most awkward thing. Like I stumble over my words, and I have this weird smile on my face. I look like I just ate 10 edibles. Like I can't flirt for the life of me. I need help because when I'm not flirting, people think I'm flirting. But when I try to flirt, it's just so awkward. I can't do it, which is why I never pursue anyone on my own. Like I'll drop little hints that I'm interested, but I can't see myself really heavily pursuing someone. Also, the fear of rejection, of course,
Yeah.
but I can't. I don't know. I've really always been pursued. I don't know if
Yeah.
I could do the pursuing.
See,
And you know what? Also, I'm a lady. I
yeah.
want to be chased. I want to be pursued. Like, if you're interested, step to me and tell me. You're most likely going to get rejected. I'm sorry, but I want to be pursued.
See, it's not for me. It's not even about. I think if you truly want somebody, you're truly interested in them. It's not even about being the guy or the lady or whatever. And I know that's very traditional.
Yeah.
If I'm really interested in someone, I just stare at them for a long time and just say, "Hey, what's up?" That's typically my approach, which is bad because it sometimes comes off too aggressive, like I'm a serial killer.
I'm hungry and you look delicious right now.
Yeah.
That is something I would say, and then I would get weird looks. See, awkward. I'm
Yeah.
awkward. No one understands my sense of humor.
And I think for females, it's a lot different when you're pursuing a guy because sometimes it scares off a lot of guys. It's just too aggressive for some guys. For me,
Yeah.
it's not even really. I think if I was walking down the street and some girl like was trying to get with me like that, then yeah, it's a little intimidating. I
Oh God, I wouldn't know. I don't hit on guys on the street. I avoid them mostly because it's what I experience daily is the complete opposite. I could be all dressed up, I could have my makeup on, my hair done, and I will be approached by 50 people. Or I could just be barefaced with a messy bun with like my bum clothes, and I still get approached by 50 people. And I hate it so much. I
yeah.
really hate it.
I think after a while, I can see how that could be uncomfortable.
And it's not a flex. I'm not bragging. When I say how I get hit on constantly, I'm not bragging. It's not a flex. I get so annoyed. Like sometimes I just want to be left alone. Please let me just walk to work in peace. Please.
Yeah, you live in a really aggressive state.
I live in Brooklyn. I work in Brooklyn, and oh man, the people here, they are relentless.
Yeah, because I think there's more men than there are women in up north.
I
And
think so.
yeah, and in the South, it's the opposite. It's more women than men.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit, I'm in the wrong state.
I don't know. Some of us are just like really slow. I know when it comes to that stuff, I'm really slow. I don't get it when someone's flirting with me.
So,
I'm
sometimes I'm a little oblivious to that too. Because I know how I am. I'm very nice. I'm very kind to people, helpful. I speak with a smile on my face for the most part. And a lot of people tend to take it the wrong way. And it goes back to what I was telling you before. A lot of the male friends that I have had to cut off because they got feelings. That's how it all starts. We start off with a really great friendship and they develop feelings because maybe they assume that I might be into them and have to let them down a little gently. And I feel bad because like I'm just being myself. If we're hanging out, I'm just being me. Like we
yeah.
have things in common, we have things to talk about, which is great, but like I'm not interested in anything more than a friendship. And unfortunately, I had to let, pretty nice guy off over the summer, but he was warned. No, but you know what? Also, that goes back to, what I was saying before. I spent all of last year really finding myself, and like I needed to be single. I needed to just be on my own and get used to like a new norm. And a lot of people that I reconnected with last year, because I was in Staten Island for like 8 or 9 years, and I just came back to Brooklyn. So a lot of my old friends, I was reconnecting with them. And I made it clear I'm not really looking for anything because they would ask, oh, so you're dating, you're looking? I'm like, no, I just got out of an 8 year relationship. I'm not looking for shit. And
Yeah.
I'd make my intentions known. Like, I'm not looking for anything. If something comes along, great, but I'm not actively looking. And I just can't even think about being in a relationship right now. And this one guy, sweetheart of a man, but he completely disregarded everything I said. And then I noticed that he would sit a little too close to me. He would pour me extra drinks. If we're having wine and just chatting and catching up, he'd pour me like a little extra. Bro, are you trying to get me drunk? What the fuck are you trying to do?
See, this is
And then
why if I'm hanging out with a female, I will always have her pour her own drinks.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Please listen, unless in the situationship and we're already like together but not officially together, you can pour me a drink. Thank you very much, sir. But if you're just my friend and you're in my house and we're just catching up and we're just chatting, maybe watching a movie, I'm sitting on one end of the couch and you're sitting on the other end of the couch because that's how I hang out with my friends. We're not sitting too close together. Um, please don't touch my wine glass.
Yeah.
And please don't touch my wine and please don't touch me.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Like and the same guy, like at one point, like he tried to give me a back rub. It's like I felt so uncomfortable. I had to fake that I was getting sick from the wine for him to leave.
I had a conversation with a friend a long time ago, and it's guys are very upfront about, hey, this is not what I want. And women, you guys have to give an excuse of why you're not interested.
Yeah. But
It's,
like we shouldn't have to. It's like I just got out of an 8 year relationship and it was a very traumatizing relationship. And, I don't want to ever experience that ever again. I need some time to just heal from that.
yeah. And I think it's the society too, because men in large are trained to just, oh, how dare she? Like, who does she think she is? Turn me down.
I, yeah, okay, like you're king shit over there. No,
Yeah,
no,
exactly. Yeah.
it's not fair at this point. But like it was really only the end of July, maybe like the beginning of August, when I finally started to relax a little bit and be like, okay, maybe not all men are bad. Maybe I'm just like not looking hard enough. I don't know what's going on. And then I met someone
Nice.
in like the beginning of August and nothing came of it, but we talk every day and I really like him, but that's really the extent of it.
Yeah. And see, I'm that way in the sense of my relationships always go. They're talking phase, and I have to have a talking phase. If there's no talking phase, or I don't know that you like me, and then we just sleep
Yeah,
together, it's done. But if there's like
it's
a talking phase,
crucial.
yeah,
You need to talk, and I like to talk every day. Now, again, back to, what I said before, you're not a prisoner.
yeah,
Whether you are officially my man or we're just talking, or if it's like a situationship kind of thing, you're not my prisoner. I would like to talk to you every day. We don't have to see each other every day. Listen, I understand people are busy. Like, I work and go to school and I got kids. So
yeah,
like I'm busy also. We don't have to see each other every day, but give me like some time. Give me like a day or two out of the week. See me.
yeah, exactly.
That's all I ask for. Come and see me for a little bit.
Mhm.
Sleep over. I don't care. But I don't need someone in my house every single day. It's not necessary, but talking is definitely important because that's how you get to know people.
Yeah,
That's how
exactly.
you really get to know people.
Yeah. And sometimes the talking phase can be 1 month, 5 months, a year.
Like, exactly.
It depends on the momentum and what's going on. And sometimes situations will get you together. Just
So
never know.
yeah, you never know. Sometimes I wish I knew what the other person was thinking or what they want, especially if it's not communicated yet. But see, I know what I want for myself.
Why
I
don't
don't
you
have it
ask?
now. It's awkward. I like to avoid awkward situations, and I don't know.
I would
I
just
don't know.
like send it in a text.
I, you know what? For the first time in a very long time, I can honestly say that I'm actually very happy.
Oh, that's good.
And truly, I really am. I don't want to ruin anything. I don't know. I like the way things are.
Then that's good. Then just keep up the pace. Like whatever pace
That
is going
yeah,
at.
I want to keep up what's happening there. I don't want it to change in a negative way.
Yeah, it won't if you're happy with what's happening now. There's no rush. I don't understand into getting
Right.
to know somebody.
And it's so weird for me to even say that because all my relationships have been so long term. I lived with every single ex I was ever with. The three main relationships, I lived with all of them. And I'm used to coming home to them and eating dinner together and waking up together every single day. And now I don't have that.
That's
And
good.
I obviously like do miss it, of course, but I like this new norm, like where I don't see this guy every single day. Like we could video chat here and there and we text every day, but I like it that way. And at the same time, I get to do what I want to do for myself
Yeah,
without any distractions. Like I was just doing my schoolwork before you called. Like I could actually do that. No distractions.
exactly. And honestly, I think for women, it's important to have your own independence first.
I
Understand what
never
that
had that.
is.
I
And
never had it.
yeah, I think that's very crucial because you will never be put in a position. And if you're put in that position to be underneath a man, per se, you know how to
Right.
get out of that situation, how to just jump back into being by yourself again. Like that will be comfortable for you. And you won't feel bored and lonely and all things that happens
Well,
after a breakup.
it's been easy for me adjusting to being alone and lonely and doing everything for myself because the most recent relationship I was in, the 8-year one, that's basically what I did anyway. I was alone half the time. I was like fending for myself. Like he wasn't there for me. He didn't support anything that I wanted to do. And I was home alone or with just the kids by myself constantly. This wasn't like a really tough transition, just
That
being alone all the time. It wasn't, I hate it, but it wasn't a tough transition. I was already used to it. I was alone when I wasn't alone in that relationship.
Oh wow.
That's the best way to put it. I was alone when I wasn't.
But I still think it's important because you never give that person the power to just be like, hey, get out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm good. Let's say you get into another relationship. You know what it is to
Mhm.
be by yourself. Whereas before you
Yeah.
were like with someone in their home,
Yeah.
you'll know what it is now.
I'm not afraid to be alone. The beginning of last year, when everything happened, when the big breakup happened, I was terrified to like really be on my own. But now I don't even care. I'm unfazed.
That's good. At first, what was your initial reaction like? Because then you have to tell everyone what happened, and it
So,
feels.
so going back to again what I said earlier, I'm a very private person. Like people would love to guess what goes on in my life, and I just won't ever say anything. So I never made an announcement that I was single, I'm back in Brooklyn ever, and I won't.
Yeah.
But so there are people to this day that still don't know I'm back in Brooklyn and
Oh
that I'm
wow.
single. Yeah. And then there are people that watch my TikToks and then they write comments like, "Wait, I thought you were married. Wait, I thought you were engaged. Wait, what happened to?" And I don't answer those questions. I just leave them hanging.
Yeah.
I think there are people that are still finding out to this day that like, "Hey, she's back in Brooklyn. She's single." I
Wow.
don't tell people my business like that. It's really honestly no one's business.
Yeah, I do think it's important to talk about it because you have to talk about it because I'm sure for you it was a traumatic experience.
Oh my God, I'm still reeling from it. I swear I have PTSD from that relationship.
Yeah, so it's important to talk to someone, like someone I don't know who you feel like will keep your stuff safe, but I think it's important to talk about it because it's good for your mind.
There is one person I talk to, my boss, who's my friend. He's my therapist. He's amazing. He's really, I think, the only person on this planet that like knows my life story, whether he wants to know it or not. I come into his office and tell him my bullshit all the time anyway, and he has no choice but to hear me. And that's because that is a person I really trust, and he he's one of those very honest people who give amazing advice, and he's straight to the point, and he won't give you no bullshit. And that
That's
is why
good.
I talk to him because I need someone to call me out on my shit.
Yeah, you have
I
to.
don't want like, I don't want a yes man. I don't want to tell somebody my business and then just constantly agreeing with me because then that just blows up my head. I don't want that. I want someone to tell me the truth. Hey, in that situation, was I right or was I wrong?
Yeah. And
I want to learn.
there's the perspective of what you may have seen or experienced may not what the other person have seen or experienced.
Yes,
It's a very I don't know, it's just a very weird space because it's if you're not in like a healthy relationship where you can actually sit down and have like a conversation and understand where they were coming from and they also receive your perspective, you're just left with two different perspectives of
that's
a
where
situation.
that relationship went terribly wrong because I'm the type if I'm with somebody and we're having like stupid little issues, stupid little fights, nothing crazy. My thing is, let's sit down and let's talk. I want to tell you how I feel, and then I'm going to listen to you tell me how you feel, and we're going to come to a compromise. That's how I am. I want to compromise. I want to sit down and talk.
Yeah.
He saw that as like a sign of weakness. He never spoke about his feelings. He would, and if I ever brought up any concerns in the relationship, he would be so quick to turn it around on me, go like it's my fault.
Wow.
That's actually your fault. I swear to God, everything was my fault. To
Wow.
this man, it was my doing, it was my fault. Bro, you're the one that's doing these things that are hurting me, and I'm trying to like solve this issue that we have. Sit
Yeah.
down and talk. And his excuse was, oh, I'm too busy, oh, I'm tired, I'm gonna go to bed, or I'm gonna go in the shower. It's every chance he got to avoid a conversation, he took that chance and he just would avoid the conversation.
Wow.
And nothing was fixed. It got worse and worse.
And the thing is sometimes our actions create the monster into someone else that makes them react a certain way to us. I'm not saying that you've done something. What I'm saying is this is perhaps this is why sitting down and talking is important because how you said that he was blaming you for certain things. Perhaps the things that he was doing was creating the situation for you to react in a certain way, which annoyed him. But if you're not actually actively sitting down and talking, you can't
Right.
really figure out each other's situation.
And it's not like I stepped to him, I got in his face and cursed him out and said, "You better fix this and this." No, I never did that. I would always very calmly be like, "Listen, we need to figure out this issue. Let's sit down and talk." And that's apparently was not good enough. And then obviously over time, you get that kind of rejection and your personality changes. And I'm no angel. I wasn't perfect in that relationship because over time I saw I'm being blamed for everything. I'm being accused of
Yeah,
things
your
I
guards
didn't
is gonna
even
be
do.
up.
At one point, you just snap. Towards the end, I was not myself. I didn't even recognize myself, the person that I became, and I didn't like it. And I was like, this isn't working. This
Yeah.
isn't going anywhere. There were so many issues in that relationship that ugh, I could write a novel. It was just nothing was ever gonna fix it.
I
And you just got to let go at some point.
Yeah, see, like now I'm trying to get into a relationship. I'm thinking about settling down. I don't know.
Finally.
I know. But if a person cannot sit down and talk and have a conversation, because one thing I will not do is argue with a female. I just don't. I don't believe in it. I don't even argue with guys. I don't argue with friends. I If we
Yeah,
can't talk, then I'm gone. I'm out of there. Like there's no
I'm
gaslighting me and then having your way.
that was my issue. I was gaslighted for so long. And now my mentality is that, wow, I'm the fuck up. Everything's my fault. I did this to myself. I'm the piece of shit.
Wow.
That's how I feel. That's, I guess, the PTSD, like the relationship PTSD. But now I feel a little bit better about, like, I feel good. If I were to get into another relationship now, I feel confident enough that that I'm okay.
That's good. Because one thing I hate is seeing a friend or a family member go through things in a troubled relationship and you get into another relationship. It's unfair to the next person because they have to deal with the trauma that was left behind from that
That's
relationship.
that's so funny you bring that up because that's exactly what I told like the one friend that I had to cut off over the summer, the one that just wouldn't take no for an answer. That's the major thing that I kept stressing. I'm not ready to be in anything right now because I'm still healing from this last relationship. I'm not going to be a good girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm still healing. Like I would be a terrible girlfriend right now because everything is giving me PTSD. Everything is gonna give me PTSD. If you don't text me in 2 hours, I'm gonna flip the fuck out because
Yeah.
I think you're out somewhere. I don't want to do that to anyone. That's not fair. I need to work on myself first, clear my head, and then when I'm ready to get into something, that's when I'm gonna pursue something.
Ex-
And it
I
wasn't good enough for the guy.
Exactly. See, I was in a similar situation with a girl, and this was like maybe 5 years, maybe six, maybe 7 years. I don't know. 5 to 6 years ago. And I met this girl at a party, I think. And she was just, a lot was going on with her. She was going through a breakup, and I liked her. She liked me. But I decided to keep it as friends. No sleeping together, no nothing like that. And I did tell her like, hey, I do like you, but I rather get to know you and while you're healing, but I don't want you now because you have a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I helped her get into her own car, get into her own apartment and stuff like that, and it helped her like babysat her kid while she was in Indiana. And I didn't see the things that were wrong with this picture until someone said, it was a cousin of mine that said, Texas is, I think she said, 3 times bigger than England. And she's leaving her child, who hardly knew you for less than a year, to Indiana.
Red
Should
flag.
It's a red flag. And I'm like, no, I'm helping her get on her feet. I'm helping her. And I was more interested in her getting on her feet than getting into her panties. But it ended up just bad anyways because I ended up just getting used.
Yeah, you were her bitch.
Yeah, and I always just ended up like the babysitter while she went out and did, what she had to do for work. But she would come straight home after that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was also in school, and I'm sitting here playing dad, and I have to go to school. I'm missing classes.
Oh
My
my
grades
God.
are slipping, and I was just like, yo, no, this has to end. And I was like, I'm sorry. I feel completely used in this situation. And I think it's best for us to just like split ways. She agreed, and because I told her I felt used, and she was like, yeah.
And she admitted to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I could never do that to somebody. Oh my, I'm so sorry.
And it's funny because she one of those girls that was like, "Oh, Jesus this and God this and
Oh my
those
God.
are the ones."
Stay away from those Bible thumpers.
But she wasn't even thumping any Bibles.
Jesus this, Jesus that. Okay, sure.
But and so I was just like, the last time I spoke to her, because her name was Luz, and in Spanish that means light, and I was like,
Yeah.
man, you're definitely my darkness, not any kind of light. So, guy, you see someone coming out of a relationship. I think if you truly care about that person, no matter how much you want to be with them or if you see yourself being with them, you should
Hmm.
give them time to themselves first so that they
Yes.
can take care of themselves wholly. Even if,
Right, but be there for them as well. Just
yeah,
don't push anything. Just don't push yourself on them.
yeah,
Just be there for
exactly.
them. Be like a shoulder to cry on.
Exactly. And
That's
sometimes
it.
you might not be the guy for them.
Maybe.
And they might like someone else, a different situation. They might see that as, wow, this guy has truly been there for me, and maybe I should give them a chance. But never hide that you're interested in them, and don't say it immediately after they've gone out of a relationship. Give it some
Yeah, because
time.
they don't want to hear it at that point.
Yeah, every guy's disgusting to them.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I felt up until like late July of last year.
Yeah,
Every guy was gross. I didn't want anything to do with anyone.
yeah. No matter how nice you are, that's just the that's just it.
Like life isn't a movie. It's not a fairy tale. The girl's not gonna be like, "Oh, this man, he was there for me in the darkest of times, and I think I love him." Like it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, there's
If
no
I'm gonna
such
fall
thing
in
as a
love with,
damsel in
no,
distress.
no, no, and I'm not a damsel in distress. I got my own shit I got to worry about, but for the most part, I do everything on my own. I handle shit on my own. That's how it is. Nobody has my back like that.
Yeah,
I learned that a long time ago. If you want something done, you got to do it yourself.
exactly.
But like, if I'm gonna fall in love with somebody, it's not gonna be because this guy had feelings for me and he was there for me during a dark time in my life. No, I have to like you first.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for being there for me, and I truly, genuinely appreciate it. But like in a romantic way, there's got to be something more than that.
Yeah,
Like I have to have the feelings too.
exactly. Because you don't want to be with someone who doesn't have feelings for you, but is pitying you. So they're there just having a relationship with you because it's just going to end bad.
It's going to end so bad. I can't imagine getting with someone just because they have feelings for me and I don't have feelings for them. That's so not fair.
No. And there's people that will do that because in your mind, you're always going to wonder, does she love me or is she there because she feels sorry for me?
Right. And I don't want to be like the pity party. I'm not going to date someone because I pity them or I
Yeah,
feel bad. I
exactly.
don't want to do that. If I'm going to be with someone, it's because I really want to be with them.
Yeah, it's unfair to both of you, really.
Yeah, I can't do that. And I know people that have done that, and I turn the other cheek. I don't get involved.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do, really, though.
Yeah,
But thank you for coming on to the podcast. I think this was a really great conversation.
It was a
And
very long conversation.
yeah, it was. I want to thank you for coming on, and I hope you have a really great day. And please take care of yourself, try some self care,
Always.
and thank you for coming on.
Thank you for
Bye.
having me. Goodbye.